Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to For My Vanity and welcome to another First Impressions video. This time we're doing a First Impressions video on the Wet n Wild, their new Rose collection, or I can't even remember what the collection is called. I'm totally blanking right now. But I picked up the House of Thorns palette because obviously there was a green in it. I'm really curious to see how this goes. I had a couple requests for me to try a couple pieces from the collection. But yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into it and get going on my eyes. If you're curious, I primed with the Milani eyeshadow primer, and then I'm using the ColourPop concealer to conceal my eyes. Okay, so there are only 4 shades in here. I have not swatched them because they're so pretty. Like, look at that rose imprint. Gorgeous. Okay, the shimmers both feel kind of rough, but not necessarily a bad thing. The mattes also feel pretty dry, but again, that doesn't really matter much to me. It just kind of matters pigmentation. I was swatching another palette on my hand if you can't see. So this is what we got. That green is so dark it almost looks just like a shimmery black. Let me put some more of it on. Let me put it on right here. Yeah, definitely might need to pack that on, but still basically looks black. Let me swatch that black again. So that throws me a tiny bit, but I don't know, we're gonna get into it. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do, but now I don't know if that'll actually look good. We're just gonna go give it a try, see what happens. I'm gonna start with this red shade on a big fluffy brush. I have this EO2 from Pixi. It's a little more pinch, but it'll work fine. It's nice and fluffy. I'm gonna pick that red up. Does this have a name? I don't think the colors have names, but the only red in the palette. Let me knock it off, because I don't want it too intense in the crease. There's that shade. It looks a lot lighter in here. Let me turn down the lighting. That way you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, that's more true. Yeah, I definitely was able to go a bit lighter so it wasn't too intense. I'm gonna just try to pack it on. It's nicely pigmented and also seems to blend out very nicely too. Like, I added some right here and I feel like I touched my face with my hands. I'm a mess some days. But yeah, anyway, there we go. You can tell where I deepened it up right in here. But I feel like you don't see any kind of weird, harsh lines. What do you guys think? Yeah, let's do the other side. There we go. I feel like I went in a little heavier on this side, so let me just kind of make them even. We're going for dark and smoky today. Okay. I guess you should assume that with this color layout if that's all you're going to use. Okay, so now I want to take that black shade that's in the pan. I'm going to take this Stilazzi L210 brush, one of my favorite little packing brushes. I'm going to get some on here, kind of go in, because it took some building up, and then I'm putting that on the outer corner here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm just going to kind of intensify it here. I'm not worried about my lid because I'm going to cover that up. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a blend going between these two. I'm going to pick back up, you know, that's not going to work as well. I'm going to pick up this smaller dome shaped brush. It's like an LO3 from Pixi. I mean to try these Pixi brushes out. And I picked up more of that red burgundy, and I'm putting that right on the kind of line where I want the two to meet and blend. Like so. Yeah, I feel like that's better. And then I'm going to take that bigger, fluffier brush. Put just a touch more on. Kind of blend out the edges. There we go. I like that. I like that more. Going back in with the black. I'm just kind of tapping it on. And then I'm going to flick it inward. Make sure that all looks blended. What do you guys think? I feel like right here is looking unblended on camera, and I can see it far away, but when I'm actually close, I feel like, or like I pull down my lid, I'm not really seeing it so much. Maybe a touch sheer. Let me try to build it up there. I don't know if maybe, this seems like a true matte. It almost looks like it has a bit of a, like a satin to it, because you know how satins can catch the light. Almost seems like what it's doing, but no, because I think it's kind of getting hidden now. I don't know, blacks are so tricky. I'm always scared. I feel like that looks a lot better. What do you guys think? I'm just using that red and kind of blending downward. There we go. So this is what we're looking like. I'm going to do the same to the other side. But yeah, there was a little bit of patchiness, but I feel like just packing it on kind of fixed that issue. All right, so this side is definitely more messy and blown out, but I'll fix that when I clean up my eyes and take off a good chunk of that. But I think that looks good for now. And this might be a little patchy right there, but I'm going to cover that with the next shade, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the green shade now. I was trying to think if I should put some glitter glue down, but I'm not going to because it kind of looks more like a satin on my hand. But anyway, I'm going to first start just trying to get this on the brush. Like I said, it's a bit of a rougher, drier formula, so I'm really packing it on. And we'll see how it looks dry. And since I don't have like a super sticky base at this time, since it's mostly dried, I may wet my brush in a minute. Yeah, like I said, that shade, there's a shift of green, but it's pretty darn black. Okay, so it looks really pretty, just like that. I'm going to put the last shade in my crease a bit, but maybe I'll bring this down a little bit. I'm planning to put that where I don't have anything, just to brighten it up a little bit and to use all the shades, but I do want to try it this wet. So I'm going to load up my brush again, tap the excess off, and then I'm taking my Pixi Glow Mist. Did I tell you what this was? This is L221 from Stilazzi. Can't even remember. I'm trying to get better at saying the brushes because I always forget. What do you think? This is sprayed. This is not. There's a difference, but I feel like it's so minute, it's almost not worth the effort, in my opinion. I mean, I guess it does something. I shouldn't be so harsh. I think I would just kind of cut my crease or use glitter glue and it would still get that intensity that I like. Okay, so going in with that last shade right there, maybe I should point to it instead of just holding it up. We're gonna take that taupey shimmer. Again, really rough shadow, so I feel like I really have to like, not be violent with it, but I really have to go in and press, because like, see, I feel like that was hardly anything. This is less of like a glitter and definitely looked more like a very, like a sheen there at the top. I'm not expecting too much with this shade, but I like to get the most that I can out of a shadow. I'm gonna wet it on this side, just because I feel like I have to stab it so hard. I feel like maybe if I wet it, it'll take some of that work out of it. If you're ever curious why I keep looking away, I have my big mirror over here so I can kind of get perspective. So there's the look. What do we think? It looks pretty good. It's definitely so dark and deep. I'm not used to this. Let's go ahead and smoke out the lower lash line. I think I'm going to try to not use too much of the black down here, just because I feel like that'll really close it off. I'm using the Avon. All the wording has like come off. I'll leave it linked down below. It's like the twist up retractable kind, and I really like it. It's kind of nice not having to sharpen it, but it stays super creamy and it stays pretty darn well in my lash line, or in my waterline. I typically have a hard time getting gel liners to stay here, just because I feel like my eyes tend to water and whatnot, but this actually stays really nicely. It'll only come off in the outer corner by the end of the day, which is pretty impressive. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the red from that, and I'm going to use this Pixi EO1 brush. I'll leave this whole set because I think you can only buy it as a set. I'll leave that link down below. Yeah, this red I really have no complaints about, or I keep calling it red. It's like a burgundy maroon. But yeah, this is really nice. I feel like in the beginning I used it super lightly and it almost looked like a pink, not like a deep pink, so that was cool, I thought. Really nice. I have no complaints about that one. And I'm just going to go in with the same brush. I'm kind of tapping it off on my hand and just go to that black. Really get it in there, and I'm just gonna touch it right at my lash line, only in the outer corner, just to help connect it to the outer corner here. I feel like that kind of ties the look together. As you can see, there's a good bit of fallout, mainly with, that's the green. I feel like it's mainly with that green. I really don't see too much of the black. Maybe a touch of the red. Can't really see the taupe, but I didn't use a whole lot of it. But it's mainly with that green that was falling out with me trying to pack it on there. So just something to know. I'm going to clean up my face, as you can see, do the rest of my makeup, and then I will come back with some final thoughts. So be right back. Alright, so there you have it. This is the completed look. I'll have everything that I used on my face listed down below if you'd like to see. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I did notice a bit of transfer happening. So I actually just tapped a bit of this NBA Cosmetics Glitter Foil and Liner FX liquid over it, because I find that that does help to keep it from transferring a little bit. So I think this is definitely going to be something, if you have hooded eyes especially, you're going to need to use a glitter glue underneath. But anyway, I just did that for one eye, left the other eye alone, though this eye doesn't usually have too much trouble, as much trouble I should say, with transferring. But anyway, here's the completed look. I always throw in some close-ups. Make sure you check out the pinned comment for my wear test. I'll let you know how all those shadows wore, if I saw any creasing, fading, what the fallout looked like, that sort of thing. And then I'm also going to have a full review, but I'm going to be pulling this into my Shop My Stash for April, so you won't see a full in-depth review on this until the end of April, when I do my monthly makeup, or my palette palooza for April. I forgot I split the butt. But anyway, that is when you will see the full in-depth review for this. But I was pretty happy with how it turned out. There's a little issues with the black, and the shimmers, you know, these two shades right here aren't that intense, but they're very pretty. This is probably the typical look I would go for, just because there's not a whole lot of variety, but I think this would be a good companion palette to mix in with other things. And overall, I think it's nice. For the price, it's nice. I just wish this green was a bit brighter and more different than the black. That's my only kind of gripe with it, because they're just so similar. It's just kind of like a shimmery green black. But anyway, overall, it is nice, and I didn't have any intense problems with it, so I was really happy about that. But anyway, full review to come if you want to stick around, but I hope this first impressions kind of helped you guys get a little feel for this palette. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I hope it was helpful for you guys, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.